Hello, welcome back to the Meet the Speaker studio. And we are meeting another speaker. Adam, hello.
Hello, York. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Can you tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Adam Purnell, Director of Social Care at the Institute of Health and Social Care Management. We're a members-based institute that supports the leadership and development of managers and leaders in the country. And I'm also one of the hosts of the Caring View Social Care Chat Show.
Lovely. Tell me a bit about the Caring View. I love that show.
Oh, I love the Caring View as well. So the Caring View is myself and Mark Tops, the social care celebrity award trophy guy. And we, through the pandemic, did a lot of media, and we found that media was very selective on the stories they wanted to tell in social care. Unless you had something big and hard-hitting, they didn't want to hear from you, whereas what we wanted to do was make sure social care had a voice. So we developed the Caring View as a platform for everyone, really, and it's now been, a year and a half. We've got nearly 5,000 followers across all of our networks, and we're really there just to have, engaging live conversations that are no agenda, but stuff people want to hear about. There's no sort of kissing of feet and patting of backs. It's very honest, very raw, very open. We're at the Care Show tomorrow, doing controlling the cost of living crisis, and it's really just about making sure that we can bring all the new voices of care together and have a laugh. Have a good time, have some serious conversations, but have fun.
I think it's so important in care, isn't it? That we end up talking about people who use care dispassionately, and actually we're human beings, right? People want to have fun, people want to smile, people want to laugh. So.
And you never know what's going to happen. So, you can find us on YouTube, subscribe, it's all free, please go and do it. If you go and look at our Christmas episode from last year, we did get a striptease from yours truly, which I think was amazing. I'm probably going to get told off by you now for saying that, but it was like the highlight of Christmas for us. And so it's just about fun, actual fun.
So one of the themes that's come out today, I've chatted to lots of different people, and I've hooked around this idea of low-cost innovations, and we're discovering there's lots and lots of ways that people can implement just simple low-cost things right now that can make an impact on the people that they look after. Talk to me about some low-cost innovations.
I love low-cost innovations. When everyone always talks about, I do a lot of work around innovating the sector. How do we bring some sort of real impactful change to care? And people go, oh, well, I'm developing this new system that's going to cost X thousand pounds and it's going to do this. And I was like, well, actually, I've got a Google Home at home which does exactly the same thing. So what I try and say to managers is, what do we do in our own houses? Because we don't have thousands of pounds, well, some people do, but I definitely don't, of expendable income to spend on lavish technology in my house. I do it as cheap as I possibly can to benefit me. So what do I do at home that could actually be transferred into a home? So, I have smart speakers all around my house, my TV and everything's connected to that. So people with dexterity issues, shove a Google Home in your TV and just say, hey Google, turn on my TV. Sorry if you're listening to this at home and you've got Google, because I know how hard that is. But simple stuff like that makes things super accessible for people. The Google Homes I find, or Alexas, whichever, are really, really beneficial, because let's say you're giving medication to someone, and we've got to be able to make sure that the person we're giving medication to understands what the medication is. So, I don't know, let's say it's lansoprazole, and they'll go, oh, what's lansoprazole for? I'll tell you what, why don't we ask Google? Let's learn together. Hey Google, what is lansoprazole? And it's a really good technique, not just to make lives easier for people, but to have those engaging conversations, to give that informed decisions and that informed knowledge, and really transcend how we deliver care. So little things, smart speakers, super simple, super cheap. You can pick them up for 20 quid, 30 quid nowadays, can't you? Little things like that. Yes, it comes with GDPR and how you're going to measure that in your information governance policies and all of that, but it's a step in the right direction.
And those things shouldn't stop you innovating. Just because there's a barrier in the way with GDPR or something else, you should find a way to make that work, right? Because there will always be a way to make it work.
Exactly. And streaming services are all the craze now. I can't sit here and tell you I know exactly how it works with media laws and what you need to have in your homes and do that, but I used to use YouTube Music, and I'm not shy about that. And they'd be like, oh, can we listen to some music? Yeah, sure, what's your favourite singer? Oh, I don't know, such and such. Oh, hey Google, play such and such. Oh my God, this is amazing. And before long, they were just choosing their own soundtracks each day. They were asking for songs that they wanted to play, and they were like, oh, can we have some dinner music when we have dinner? Yeah, sure, play piano music. And they could then have different types of music. It's just little things like that change the dimensions of what we do. Cheap, doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, and I think as well, as you get into a position in your life where you need to be in a care home, for example, the little things really matter, they really make a difference, and something that seems so trivial to us, it makes such a huge difference for people, doesn't it?
It does, and we need to get out of this mindset that just because you're living in care means you have to have some sort of exclusive thing designed for you. We still feel it very secular, so it's like I will go home and I will use this cutlery and I will use this mug and I will have this and this will be my cushion and etc etc etc. But you're in a care home, so it needs to look like this and it needs to be clinical and it needs to be that one. Actually, no. They're just people living in a home, so why can't we have the same things that we have at home in a care home, in a care setting, no matter what that setting is? And how can we make that so it's like life, it's like normal life, and they're not being treated any different? We need to get into that mindset. And looking outside of things, let's not look insular, let's not look at what the care sector's doing. Sorry for everyone here who's a care sector innovator, but let's look at other industries where things have worked. Let's have a look at, I don't know, hospitality, where we've made things in hotel rooms accessible for people in the hotel rooms. How can that be applied to people who live in care? Simple things like that to bring into it, I think would be, just tremendous.
I love it. Yeah, it does sound. There's so much that we can do that's so simple that we get sort of we trip ourselves up, and I think just go for it. Someone mentioned YouTube. So
yes.
It's such a great resource. What comedy sketches do you like?
Oh.
Can we learn about X? Can we? And I use it a lot with my children. We always say, it's really interesting. Can we learn? How can we learn about that? How can we learn about these numbers or this particular way of doing things? So I think it's really.
And as we try and become more inclusive, we used to do round the world meal days and things like that. We would watch cooking shows around certain types of food. We would have, I don't know, an Oscars quiz. So why don't we use clips from movies on YouTube and do it like that? It allows you to bring knowledge that was once upon a day only accessible if you subscribe to Britannia's encyclopedias. You can now get it at the click of a button. So it's just fantastic what we can now do in the sector.
Lovely. Any other thoughts, any other ideas that you want to put forward for people to?
I would just say, think about what the people you're supporting want, not what you want. So don't think about how this will make your job easier first. Think about what it is that the people need to find easier. So we've always got to look at the impact at the service delivery and then think about ourselves afterwards. So just scope it, what do you struggle with day to day? What would you like to have more access to? What did you used to have access to that you no longer have access to? How can we provide that back to you, It's about things like that. Don't get caught up on, let's get dexterity adapted cutlery and crockery. That's great, but that should be standard. That's what you should be doing anyway. That's a given for a care setting. It's equal opportunities, it's accessible. For everything else, just find out what matters to people and go from there and learn with them, go with them on it, and it's really, really important.
A million separate care plans.
Well, exactly. But it's not even having to do a million separate care plans. If we're wise about how we care plan stuff, it can all be put together. It doesn't have to be arduous work. We just need to be, the regulator has a part to play in this. They have to be able to be open to a new way of working now. They have to be open to new care plans. They have to be open to new record keeping. It can't just be the same as we've always done because it just won't marry.
Lovely. Right, so I've got one last question for you. Big one. It's about toast.
Okay.
So literal toast, butter in the toaster.
I'm not putting butter in my toaster, mate.
Bread in the toaster. Right, so breakfast this morning, 5 and a Bite team, we were discussing toast, as you do at breakfast, makes sense. Butter on it, bit of jam. 2 of my team stopped me and went, what do you mean, butter and jam? I just put jam on the toast. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So where do you stand?
I'm supposing you sacked them on the spot.
Well, yeah, I have, They're no longer with us,
butter on everything.
Absolutely.
Has to be, and it's got to be piping hot. So I like it so the toast is just golden, crack it slightly so that when you butter it, it seeps in, and then your jam on. But I'm a peanut butter guy, so the peanut butter has to go on while it's hot as well.
Yeah, so I'm that bit butter on, peanut butter on with that, then it all melts together, and then you spread it. And even, pro tip, if you don't time it right, just 30 seconds under the grill. Just takes the edge off that peanut butter. But
you've got to have the butter on. I don't eat toast. I don't really eat butter anymore. We go to olive oil substitutes, and it's rubbish.
Same for you.
It's not. It's Lurpak. Come on. Lurpak fixes broken hearts. Lurpak's amazing. Also breaks your heart, which is why I don't eat it anymore. But no, it always has to have really thick butter.
Nice. Good. Okay. Well, we're agreed on that one.